Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a new subscriber, I hope that you would like this video and share it. And if you are a returning subscriber, I want you to know that I really appreciate you supporting my channel. You make my heart smile. When a 70-year-old woman can make videos and people like them, it just does a lot for me. Okay, let's get started with this video. 'Cause he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out here before the rain starts later today. And this is the midget cantaloupe. And as you can see here, I'm using this tomato cage as a trellis. And let me share with you these mushrooms that came up in the soil. Don't be alarmed if you see these. These are not edible. These are just mushrooms that you get when there's a lot of moisture get into the soil and the soil is healthy. Okay, down here I see some weeds I'm getting ready to pull up, like this one and this one. We don't want anything taking up nutrition from the plants. I have some marigolds planted in here to repel aphids that like to get all over your vines. And what I did this morning is I took a little crochet yarn because it's real stretchable, and I'm securing the vines up on the trellis. Now I'm only going to try to get about 4 or 5 small miniature melons, and then I'll start cutting off all the excess. But you can see it has a lot of flowers on them that will be pollinated by, planting a lot of flowers that attract the pollinators. And right here, I probably will insert next a little clip of how butterflies, especially the large, pretty ones, come to my garden. So I don't ever have to pollinate anything. So if you're having problems with your plants not being pollinated, put some flowers in your garden. I can't stress it enough. I remember years ago, I used to have to hand pollinate everything. And then I started adding more and more flowers. And throughout my 40 years of gardening, and over 40 years, I noticed that if you plant a lot of things that attract pollinators, you won't have to do that. So now I'm gonna tie yarn on here like I did right here and right here. And so I can, train it to go up this tomato cage. And these little tendrils, they will start wrapping around whatever they can grab hold of. All right, so that's tip number 1. Here's tip number 2. Learn which plants that don't like to be moved. For example, okra and beets. Try not to move them. But I lost some plants when we moved the garden from one side of the yard to the other. And I had a couple of extra seeds I just popped in here, okra seeds. So I moved one of these plants, and now I'm gonna move this one because the zucchini is gonna take over this 25-gallon bed. Now check this out. You can use a shovel or scooper, whatever you want, but I'm just gonna come in here real deep with my left hand, pull some of these roots up without disturbing them. And then I'm gonna walk over here to where I already pre-made a hole where some of the okra died, some of the okra seedlings died. And I'm gonna gently place it in there, and then I'm gonna cover it up and hope for the best. Since I didn't disturb the roots too much, it should be okay. And I'm just gonna pinch off real gently this leaf right here because it's dying already. And when you put your seedlings in the ground or your container, make sure that you press down so that you don't have any air pockets. And I did this one prior to me filming. You can look at the soil and tell that it's moist. It rained a whole lot again yesterday, guys, and we're gonna get rain today. This is one of, in my opinion, one of the most rainy springs that we've had in a while in North Texas. So if I can get these 3 okras to grow in this container, I would be happy. Tip number 2, don't move seedlings that are known to be finicky when you disturb the roots. And there are a lot of other seedlings, but I'm just naming these 2, beets and okra. Some of my okra seedlings died just from picking up the bucket, and I guess they dropped it on the ground because these 25-gallon pots are very heavy. And I don't have them filled all the way to the top in some of them because it's a lot of room in here, and I don't want the okra plants to be so tall that I have to get on a ladder to harvest it. And by the way, this is Clemson spineless okra. It's my favorite. I've grown a lot of different types, but this is my favorite. My tip number 3 is very simple. Don't allow your vegetables or fruit to get too large, because what you're doing when you leave it on the plant too long, you're signaling to the plant that, okay, well, maybe we need to approach the ending of the growth cycle. So I don't want these banana peppers, and they're actually Hungarian wax peppers. I purchased the starch, and so you can get your pruners or you can just pinch it off. I got good nails here. That's a nice size. Don't let them get too big, so that you will signal, as I said, to the plant that you don't want them and it's time to end the production period or phase. So I'm going to remove these. That's 2. It's another big one down here. So that'll be 3. And if you see one curling or it's misshapen and it's changing colors, go ahead and remove that one too. Okay? So here's another one. That's pretty big. Should have brought my pruners. But I got it. That's a nice sized pepper. Let me move back so you can see it. So again, tip number 3, don't let your fruit or your vegetables get too big. Sometimes they don't taste good when you let them get too big, okay? All right. Tip number 4. It's very similar to tip number 3. Deadhead your flowers. Don't leave them on there once they're dead, because that will signal to the plant to produce another one. You can put these on some paper towel somewhere and save the seeds if you want, but don't let them stay on the plant dead. Look over here. You see these? This one is dead. Take it off. You can save the seeds if you want to. Take this off. This one's dying. I'll leave it on for a little bit longer. And you can see all the petals down here. And look at all these blooms getting ready to come out. You can see right here, the wind probably broke this, or it might have been broken when we moved it. This is echinacea. I'm going to have to get scissors and cut it off, and I'll save these seeds as well. If you didn't know, echinacea is a perennial. Coneflower is another common name for it. It'll come back. So let me go get my scissors and I'll be right back. So I went and got my scissors. Before I cut it off, I want to show you all of these flowers that are getting ready to open. You see them? So here's another one right here. So taking this off is going to help the flower. I told you that they are perennial and they'll come back. They are flowers that grow hardy in zones 4 through 9. Any hotter than that, they can't handle that much heat. And you need to put them in full sun and water them moderately. So I have to make sure that I have well-draining soil. See this one? I just put it down in here maybe last week. I'm going to go ahead on and put it in a paper towel or a styrofoam plate and put the name of the echinacea flower on here so that I will know what it is. But looking at it, I know what it is. But for my new gardeners, if you get a little confused about what you are trying to save the seeds for, go ahead on and label them. So I'm going to take that flower with me, and then I'm going to cut this flower off where it is broken at the stem. Normally I would just cut it like right here, or pluck it off right here. But I'm gonna go ahead on and cut this one off, because you can see this one was probably injured in the wind or when we moved it. And now that I cut that one out, look at the flowers that I can see that were hiding. There's one coming there and there. See it? And then you have one right here. Okay. Tip number 5. Be careful. Make sure that you examine your squash and other plants that attract squash bugs, like zucchini, which is a squash, because they can get attacked by squash bugs. Go out early in the morning. Now in my hand, I'm gonna carefully open this up. 2 of them, well, you see them moving around? I don't want to let them go, but I'm gonna try to open it up just a little bit. You can see it's 2 of them. I don't know if they were mating or what they were doing. See, I'm almost losing it. So I am going to do something that's not ladylike, something that I never did until I started gardening. Nothing bothers me anymore, even little garter snakes. No insects, I should say, or worms. They don't bother me anymore. I can kill them with my bare hands because I have to protect my babies. So periodically, at least once a day, unless you're going on vacation like I will be soon, check for critters that you can just pick up with your hands and kill them. So I'm gonna try to lay one of them down here, and I'm gonna get my, see it? You see it wiggling? Let me go closer. That's a squash bug. It's on its back, but I'll insert a picture. And I'm gonna kill that little bug. Okay, now you can see it a little bit better. And here's the other one. It's still, it's still alive. I'm going to kill it. I'm just going, you saw that? I saw 2 there. So that means the mama might have laid some more eggs in here. So I'm going to look real careful. One thing I noticed about squash bugs, because it rained a lot last night and early this morning, they don't like a lot of water, so they'll start climbing, just like snails. They'll start climbing up to get off of the moist soil. As you can see right here, this is my patty pan squash. There's one there, and there's one right there. And you see the flowers are here, blooms are here, and I have a lot of flowers right in here to attract pollinators so they can be pollinated. Okay, so I'm glad I found that, and I'm glad I was able to share that with you, because when I was thinking about making this video and the things that I can share with you that will help you, I said to myself, I hope I can find a squash bug. Not that I want squash bugs attacking my food, but I wanted to be able to demonstrate to you what to watch out for, and thank goodness I was able to do that. And like I said, I'm going to insert a picture, probably put it right here, of what they actually look like. So when you see it, you want to grab it as soon as possible. Now, you can take neem oil, a little dish soap, or any type of organic insect killer that don't harm plants, and put that on there. But you want to be mindful if it has oil in it, as I just mentioned, neem oil. Don't put it out when it's hot. Do it early in the morning, rinse it off later, or late at night and rinse it off later, because you will damage your crops. They will burn. The soap will burn the leaves. Okay? All right. Here is my next tip. I thoroughly want to stress this because I've made this mistake. And that mistake was planting mint into a raised garden bed or in the ground, because it really will spread fast. Okay, look at this mint. You see it here? If any little piece of this mint where these nodules are that are sending out more leaves, some people call them rhizomes, please always do your research. And that's even with me. Anything that I tell you guys, I'm telling you from experience, but because I want you to get in the habit of researching for yourself. Google is very powerful. Now, you have more confidence in trusting people that have been gardening a long time and you've been following them a long time and you've been using their safety precaution measures or their little tips or pearls in gardening, but be sure to do your own research. This plant is beautiful. Oh, it smells wonderful. It will keep mice away from your yard, you know. They won't be coming around here, around my squash over here. The main tip is don't plant this in a raised bed because it will take over. I've done it and I had to keep pulling it up, pulling it up. And I said, Lord, thank you for letting me realize this and I'll never do it again. Don't put mid or other invasive plants into raised garden beds. Put them in containers. And because we've had all this rain, now you see why I plant mostly in containers. Because if I didn't, I would lose my crops. And the containers will allow the rainwater to drain out of here. Okay? All right. You know, I noticed that I say that a lot when I'm ending. The subject comes from lecturing beauty college, teaching theory. At the end of every subject matter, I would say, okay, are there any questions? Thank you. All right. And I can't help it. Just comes out habit. I have it. Here's my next tip. Work smart and not hard. You see this cherry tomato plant? You don't see any leaves on it, right? I removed them. You see a lot of tomatoes on the ground. Some of them are beginning to ripen. The little bitty ones I'm going to make a relish out of. I'll let the rest of them ripen on the vine. Let me go closer so you can see the nice size of the tomatoes. And the reason why I'm letting these two plants hurry up and ripen these tomatoes is because I'm going on vacation. I'm not saying when I'm going because I don't want anybody to email me and say, Miss Cheryl, Lady Cheryl, don't tell people you're going to be out of town. When I tell you I'm out of town, it's when I'm back. So I've made videos on this in the past, but I want to demonstrate it again. Even your cherry tomatoes, go ahead and remove the leaves. And once they are 25 to 30% ripe, take them off the vine because they won't get any more nutrition from the stem. Anyway, they'll just be on there ripening in the sun. So work smart, not hard. If you're going out of town or going on vacation, you don't worry about a lot of fruit being left for critters and the birds. Remove all the leaves and let them ripen as much as you can before you go. I'm gonna insert a picture of when I went on a vacation a few years ago. And I harvested every tomato I had left on the vine. I put them on my dining room table on top of a tablecloth, and then I did a before and after shot so that you can see it. Here's a picture of the tomatoes that I harvested this morning and yesterday. Now, look at the weather report. 98 degrees today with thunderstorms. The excessive amount of rain was causing a lot of yellowing of the leaves on my tomato plants. And not just me, gardeners all over the country have been expressing this, the fact that we've gotten too much rain this spring. So you do what you have to do. Okay, everybody, this is my grandson, Andre. You want to speak? No. He's over here on the next day, guys, and we moving all the tomato plants. As you can see, I stripped them all balls, no leaves, because I want them to all ripen before vacation. And what he's doing now is he's just bricking in this little area here where we had it all set. Now, there is some grass right over here, but it's okay. I have in the garden benches some landscaping fabric. We're going to do that on another day. Right now, we're pushed for time because it's getting ready to start raining. And so, yeah, he's back helping his grandmother again today. All right. Thanks, baby. You say bye? Bye. So, Andre and I moved this strawberry bed over here. It's on wheels. It was easy and it wasn't too heavy. Straighten up the bricks. Got to do a little bit more straightening up. And now he's going to spread mulch all along in here. And if I want to put a couple more planters in here, I can do that too. But I'll be able to harvest from this U all the way around there. Just put it down. I don't want you to strain yourself. Yeah. There you go. And I'll go ahead on and spread it out while you go get another bag. Just dump it. Great job. This is the okra that I started from seeds inside hydroponically and transplanted outside. And I want you to see, bam, there's an okra flower. We got okra. It'll be very soon. Guys, I am upstairs in my room and I can look down on the garden. As you can see, we just finished in time with all of the mulch and it is raining heavily. Thank God we got it all done. Any time of the day or night, I can go to my Ring app and look at the garden. My son-in-law has it set up where I can see everything. Well, it's the next day, and we had horrible thunderstorm last night. And one of my GreenStalk towers fell down, and you can see it's a mess. So we had to work something else out because the GreenStalks are supposed to be on a level surface. They recommend concrete, and so that's why we had them on the patio. But I'll show you a little bit later in the video what I actually decided to do. Where I tied up the Minnesota Iamladycheryl and secured them to the trellis. I'm glad I did that before the storm because they're all intact. Over here, our peppers look good. We're gonna harvest some very soon. Brian, can you come in a little bit closer and then go back? And you can see we have some peppers down here turning orange. We got them. And then when those two get a little bit bigger and more orange, I will harvest them. The okra that I showed you in the beginning of the video, can you get right here, Brian? I transplanted these two right here very carefully, and they survived. Our peppers over here are getting ripe. They're red, and you saw me harvest some peppers over here the other day. I'm almost finished with the prayer garden. You want to pan up to the top, Ryan, and then back down. Got to spread a few more rocks. And over here, where I pinched off the flowers, you can see that the echinacea is getting ready to bloom. We have eggplant over here, okra here, and of course the apple tree is doing well. The squash is looking good. We're going to be harvesting some of it pretty soon. And then over here we have zucchini and more eggplant and patty pan squash. We harvested tomatoes this morning. I think I'll put a picture in. And over here is what we did with the GreenStalks. I have two on spindles. You can see them rotating. This one and this one. What I did was I took the top 2 layers off. It's just too much for the high winds that we get in North Texas. And we made 2 small ones. So I'm going to have to purchase a little spinner for this one and this one. And I think everything will be fine. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I hope you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share it if you can. Thanks a lot. You know I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Look at that girl swim. Go, Bria. Go, Bria. Go, Bria. Go, Bria. All right. Good job, Bria.